everyone. I'm Rochelle Cherniawski, and this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of November 7th, 8th, and 9th. On this show, we take a peek behind the mask as this year's Shell Point concert series is about to get underway. But first, as you may know, Shell Point recently launched a new Friends and Family page on the resident website. The page is a great way to help your friends and family members stay connected with Shell Point. There are event photos, links to the magazine, links to our show, and even a link to the new Shell Point gift card. To get your friends and family members connected with the new page, visit www.shellpoint.net/friends-and-family and click the share button to share the site. You will be prompted to enter the email addresses of those you wish to include. Now, if you prefer to communicate through the traditional mail, you can visit either service desk to request these informational postcards. That can be mailed to the recipients of your choice. On Monday, the sixth session program, Russia Under the Tsars, continues with a discussion on Alexander II, the Tsar Liberator. The class will begin at 1:15 in the Social Center on the island. Sign-ups are required. Also on Monday, the final session of Looking at Life at Sea in the Age of Sail takes place. The program is presented by award-winning author Robert Maycomber in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. It runs from 10 a.m. until 11:30 and is $10. Sign-ups are required. Another great concert series is set to get underway here at Shell Point on November 20th. Filled with great shows from the likes of the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, Richard Dowling, the Southwest Florida Symphony, and many others, there's something for everyone. And to kick it all off, Behind the Mask with Terry Dale Hansen and Nat Chandler. In here to talk about the show is Terry and Nat's good friend and Shell Point resident, Kate Sullivan.
Hi, I'm here with Kate Sullivan from Eagles Preserve, and we're here today to talk about Behind the Mask, the first show in the 2014-2015 Shell Point Concert Series. Behind the Mask is a great Broadway-style show with music from a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber shows and many other shows, and it stars Nat Chandler and Terry Dale Hansen, both terrific Broadway performers, international performers, have performed, all over the place, and this is their first visit to Shell Point, and again, they'll be here for Behind the Mask on Thursday, November 20th at 7:30 for the first show in the refreshed and renewed Village Church. Welcome, Kate. Glad to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Josh. It's a pleasure.
And I know you're a big part of the arts here at Shell Point and involved with a lot of what goes on in the concerts and the arts here at Shell Point, and you're a former member of the advisory board for this concert series, and also you're personal friends with Nat and Terry. Tell us a little bit about the two of them.
Oh, now there's the challenge, telling you a little bit about Nat and Terry. I mean, I could talk for hours, but let's limit it to things that might be pertinent to what we'll see here on the first concerts of the series. Terry and Nat have the most wonderful on-stage chemistry. They are such good off-stage friends, and that really spills over to the way they interact on stage. They're engaging, they're funny, they're touching, and they have such wonderful backgrounds, both in opera and in Broadway-type productions, that their acting ability comes off on the stage as well. Now, what they're going to be doing for us in November is totally a Broadway-type show, and it's Behind the Mask, so it's more than the mask.
Right.
So there's things from Phantom of the Opera, also things from Chicago, and things from Les Mis.
So it's definitely, it shows that everybody's well aware of,
Yes.
Very popular shows, Tony Award-winning shows. So it's definitely going to be a great event to come and see. You'll hear a lot of familiar music. What else? Is it just going to be music? Are they talking with the audience? Are they...
Well, I know from past experience, because I've worked with Nat and Terry several times through the years that I've known them, they usually get to know a little bit about the area, and they sometimes poke a little fun at the area and things that they say on stage. So they will do some repartee and some talking back and forth, and they will give you a little bit more of their background as they introduce themselves to the audience. Just delightful, wonderful, good people who happen to sing real well.
All right. And with them singing real well and the renovated church, new sound, lights, it's probably going to make for a spectacular show.
I am so excited to hear them in the newly improved Village Church venue. I think it'll be wonderful and looking forward to it. And also, if you really like them, you can take them home with you because they will have CDs available.
Great, that's great. And again, that's on Thursday, November 20th, behind the mask in the refreshed and renewed Village Church right here on the island at Shell Point. Tickets are $35 for individual tickets, but you can also kind of get a discount.
Right,
how does that work?
If you buy a package of tickets, then each individual concert is less costly than the one at a time $35 price. So you have until the day of the concert to buy a concert series of tickets.
Okay, that's great. Well, again, we want to invite all of you out to the Village Church Thursday, November 20th. A great show, Behind the Mask, a lot of Andrew Lloyd Webber songs, also some stuff from Wicked, Cats, Spamalot. It runs the gamut, and be performed by Nat Chandler, Terry Dale Hansen, great friends with Kate Sullivan. So I imagine they may talk to you a little bit during the show. I wouldn't be surprised if they said something during the show to you out in the audience. But we expect a great show. It's something you're definitely going to want to check out, as it's the first concert in the 2014-2015 Fine and Performing Arts concert series here at Shell Point. Thank you, Kate, for being here, and we invite everyone out to the show and enjoy.
I look forward to it.
Coming up, we're going to replay some of the best stories from earlier this week on Shell Point Today. But before we do that, let's cover all of this weekend's happenings, Academy news, menus, and church news.
Hi, I'm Jill Aldrink, and I'm here with Bev Chandley. Welcome to the weekend edition of What's Happening at Shell Point. We start our Friday morning at 8 o'clock with the men's match play, doubles tennis. They'll be at the tennis courts in the Woodlands. And at 8:15, head on down to the stamp room. They're always looking for volunteers with the stamp ministry. At 8:30, don't forget the Friday marketplace in the administration courtyard. The vendors will be there from 8:30 until 11:30, so head on up. At 9:30, canasta and samba in the second floor lobby of the Woodlands. The Celebrate Shell Point's new kayak safety launch will be taking place at 9:30, so head on down to the kayak storage facility and see what's going on. At 10 o'clock, the men's match play doubles tennis will be meeting at the tennis courts in the Woodlands. And at 10:15 in the Manatee Room, you can join the Inquiring Minds group and see what they're discussing this week. 10:30, the Susie Q heads out to St. Charles Yacht Club. Sign up is required. At 12:30, we have the Mixed Progressive Bridge. They play that in the game room at the Woodlands. And the Diabetes Group appointment takes place at 1 o'clock in the Social Center. 1:15, you have several options. You can play advanced table tennis in the Tarpon Room, or you can join the Quilters in the Osprey Room. At 1:30, the Model Train Room opens up, and they are open until 3:30. Also at 1:30, we have the Vespers in the Community Room at the Arbor. And Bid Euchre will be played in the Sable Room at the Woodlands at 2 o'clock. At 2:15, you can head out for a rousing game of water volleyball in the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. You can play as well as watch for that one. At 2:30, Latin Size meets in the Health Club on the island. At 2:30, Vespers will be meeting at the Community Room in King's Crown. 2:45, Great Decisions will be in the Manatee Room in the tunnel on the island. Vespers will also be meeting at the Springs at 3:30, and we finish our Friday with 6:45 game night, so head on up to the Resident Activity Center and participate in that. Here's Bev to tell you what's happening on Saturday.
Well, Saturday we're going to start out at 8 o'clock with pickleball being played at the pickleball courts. Also at 8 o'clock we have the round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. Now 9:30 is the time for doubles tennis, men's doubles and women's doubles, both at 9:30. 9:45 we have duplicate bridge being played in the Manatee Room on the island. And 10 o'clock, we have the information forum in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. There's a golf clinic at the Shell Point Golf Club at 10 o'clock. And at 10:15, we have the Model Yacht Sailing Club at the Garden Apartment Pond. We're going to jump to 1 o'clock for chess. That's played in the Library Lounge of the Resident Activities Center. 1:15, we have Scrabble being played in the Library Lounge. And we also have table tennis in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. At 2 o'clock, we have the Saturday DVD Bell, and that'll be in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. 3:15, we have basic line dancing in the Health Club. We're going to jump to 6:30 now for Duplicate Bridge. That's being played in the Manatee Room. And then we have our 7 o'clock Saturday DVD showing of Belle in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And now here's Jill to tell you what's going on Sunday.
Thanks. We start our Sunday morning at 9 o'clock with the Christian Life Studies. They meet in the Sable Room in the Woodlands as well as at the Village Church. 10:15, morning worship takes place at the Village Church, so head on out for that. At 3:15, we have ballroom line dancing for beginners in the Health Club, and we conclude our Sunday with the evening worship service at the Village Church. Well, this is my last taping of Shell Point TV, and I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your lives with me for the last 3.5 years. Shell Point is a wonderful place to live and work, and it has truly been a blessing to me to be a part of the Shell Point family. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Terry Coleth with your Academy information for the weekend and a look at next week. At 10 o'clock on Friday, we have Life at Sea in the Age of Sail, our second class in a 3-class series in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and sign-up is required. At 10 o'clock, we have iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad digital photography. This will take place in the Sable Room of the Woodlands, and please sign up at either service desk. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our new classes coming next week. On Monday, Looking at Life in the Age of Sail with Robert Maycomber, our third and final session. We'll also have our 5th session of Russia Under the Tsars with Seth Mendel. And then a popular class every semester, Beautiful Science. This time, Pastor Don Steinhook will bring us Beautiful Science 12.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter on Friday is baked flounder with potato pancakes and cabbage. The dinner special is the seafood buffet for $15.95, and the soup of the day is split pea. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Friday, the special is a captain's platter with fries and slaw for $7.25. The dinner special is chef's choice for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are lamb chops for $22.95 or mussels for $14.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is an Italian sausage with peppers and onions and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is tilapia parmesan with herb rice and mixed vegetables for $8.25. The dinner special in the Palm Grill on Saturday is prime rib for $19.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is a meat lover scramble with home fries for $7.25, and the dinner special is chef's choice for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It's a privilege to welcome you today to Village Church Connections. As we look forward to the weekend, I'm here with Pastor Andy Hawkins. Thank you for joining me, Andy.
It's my pleasure.
And as we look forward to the weekend, one of the things that we do is prepare our hearts for worship. And so it's helpful to know what we're looking forward to as far as the message from the Word. And I know we've been in the book of Hebrews for a while. Tell us a little bit where we'll be tracking this week.
Well, as you know, the book of Hebrews is about Christ, and the whole issue in the book is about the superiority of Christ, which the author establishes by a number of comparisons. And in this particular section, where we are in the 7th chapter of Hebrews, Jesus is being compared to Aaron, or at least his priesthood is being compared to the priesthood of Aaron under the Old Covenant. And what we're discovering in this particular passage that we're going to be examining this coming Sunday is that Jesus is a forever priest. And so we recognize that the priesthood has radically changed. And what changed was that Jesus fulfilled all of the Old Covenant sacrificial system. And so his sacrifice was not like the sacrifices of bulls and goats in the Old Covenant. His was a sacrifice of himself, of a human being who was without spot or blemish, who was offered sacrificially on behalf of the sins of every single human being who would ever believe in him. And as a result, his priesthood is forever. And so there are great benefits to recognizing that what Jesus did for us settled the issue of our relationship to God because of his sacrifice for us, because of his priesthood, and it is a forever priesthood. We're going to celebrate that this coming Sunday.
Super. So Sunday morning we'll be in the book of Hebrews again. Sunday night you've been walking through a number of different parables in the New Testament, and I know that you're going to be looking at some additional parables this week. Tell us what to expect.
Well, the one this week is called the parable of the soils. Actually, a number of people call it different things. Some people call it the parable of the sower, for instance, but I think it's best described as the parable of the soils, because what is distinguishable in that parable are different types of soils, which represent people who have different types of responses to the gospel of Jesus. So we'll talk about not only that parable, but Jesus' own interpretation of it. It's one of the few parables in which Jesus says this is what it really means. Other parables sort of leave it up to the person to sort of figure out what it means. Jesus actually tells the disciples, this is what this parable means. And as a result, it's something that challenges all of us to sort of examine ourselves, see whether we're in the faith.
So, Sunday morning in the book of Hebrews, Sunday night, the parable of the soils. We invite you to join us, and don't forget CLS classes at 9 a.m., then Sunday morning worship at 10:15, Sunday night at 6:15. We'd love to have you there. Have a wonderful day.
Now we'll look back at some of the best stories from the past week. The residents at the Arbor are proving you don't have to give up your independence at assisted living. Take a look.
We started a strength and balance class for everyone here who wants to participate. And I started it here because I know it would benefit the people.
So often you're stiff at the end of the day or you're tired, and if you come and stretch a while and be with the other people, you have some laughs and you go home feeling great.
It would help them getting out of the chairs. It would help with their flexibility. We actually have weights. I bring in bands. We have balls. We just have a good time.
And I'm just here to get my stability. I can't stand. And so I'm here stretching and walking and doing sit-ups exercises, so you try to get your balance when you're standing up and down.
They'll get stronger, and their flexibility and their balance will be top-notch, I hope. For a half an hour, that's it. A half an hour. They do a little bit of stretching before we get their heart rate up, and then we do the weights, the bands, the balls, and we just have a good time, and they end up with a big smile on their face. And if that's what they want at the end of the class and they feel like they've had a good workout, it's well worth it.
Christmas is less than 7 weeks away, and now is the perfect time to say thanks to the hardworking employees here at Shell Point. And one way to do it is to take part in the Shell Point Employees Christmas Gift. SPTV's Josh Milton and resident Barbara Witten explain how you can take part.
Hi, I'm Josh Milton. I'm here today with Barbara Witten of Oakmont. We're here today to talk about the Employee Christmas Gift. It's a great way for the residents of Shell Point to say thank you to all the employees and staff here at Shell Point around the holidays. Barbara, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
First of all, we want to talk a little bit about, give a brief overview of what the Employee Christmas Gift is.
Oh my goodness, this is completely resident run that we take this opportunity to give back to our wonderful employees. It's our only opportunity for the entire year to say thank you to all the employees, some that we see and most that we never see.
Is this something that you find throughout the state and the country at other facilities like this?
Actually, yes. We checked with the 7 closest retirement communities, and all of those retirement communities do the same thing. And it's been my experience in living, I've never lived in another retirement community, of course, but any clubs that I've belonged to or lived in, condo associations, they all do this type of thing. When it's a no tipping policy, it's an invaluable thing for the employees.
As the residents, what do you, I guess, get out of this to give to the employees? How do you feel about this?
Oh my goodness. I get joy from doing it. I have spoken with a number of the employees, and the way their face lights up anytime I ask them about the Christmas bonus or gift that they received, they automatically go into a smile, and their eyes light up, and it's wonderful. It's a joyous thing to be able to give back when it's the only time of the year that we, as Shell Point residents, can do something for the employees.
And when does it run until, and how can the residents make their contribution? Where do they need to take that?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because it is running now, and December 5, and that's a very important date for you all to be aware of. That is the cutoff date. So today is a great time to send your check in. And we have to have it in so that the financial people that do this can do their work, which is a big job to figure all this out.
Right. No pressure to donate.
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody knows who has donated or who hasn't donated.
Everybody is in a different financial position and place in their life, and it's up to you. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. Yes.
So December 5th is the deadline. When do the employees actually get their gifts?
December 12th is the day they are all looking forward to. I can tell you, if you'll mark your calendar, you will see the smiles even bigger around Shell Point on December 12th.
Right.
One of the many amazing services offered here at Shell Point is the Day Respite Program at the Arbor. The program provides caregivers a needed break while ensuring that their loved one is being taken care of. Vice President of Healthcare Services, Steve Menier, and resident Ron Bach have more.
Hello everyone, I'm Steve Menier, Vice President of Healthcare Services here at Shell Point, and we're here today to talk about a topic which I think will be very interesting and very informative and probably very personal to many of you. So we're joined today by Ron Bach, who is one of our 13-year residents here, and Ron has a great story to tell about his journey as a caregiver. So Ron, tell us your story.
Well, it's just not my journey as a caregiver. It's our journey as a caregiver and spouse. And we need to take care of each other along the way. I think my journey started over 20 years ago, and the symptoms were beginning to be apparent with my wife, Joanna. And we went to the doctor to see what he found. He said, no, it's just arthritis in her knees. That's why she's not walking properly. But I suspected it further, so we went and checked further and got 2 opinions from neurologists. And unfortunately, it was Parkinson's. And so that was the earlier stages of Parkinson's, what she had had for a number of years, and it was just beginning to show up. Shock, of course. We didn't have denial, but I know a lot of caregivers go through the denial process. And one thing we did do is we kept our social and contacts. And a lot of people tend to withdraw, and that's not good. So we moved to Shell Point very happily. We made a lot of friends. We kept the friends. We kept our friends in Naples as well, as best we could. And we participated in every function that we could. And that's what a lot of caregivers, unfortunately, do not do. You think you can do it by yourself, even though we participated which a lot of people unfortunately do not do. You know, we were smart enough, and everybody else that's residents here were smart enough to come to Shell Point, and they came for a reason. Sure. But once they have this similar problem that we had, they retrench to their apartment. And so the first thing I would like to say to any caregiver is keep all your contacts. Right. Be social. Right. Go to the exercises. Go to the support groups. It's very, very important.
I saw some very interesting statistics about caregivers. It said that the vast majority of caregivers who are 75 or older caring for someone else are they themselves only in fair or poor health. Did you get to that point?
I can say that every one of them almost are in poor health. Even though we think we're strong mentally and physically, we're not strong enough to do this journey by ourselves. Okay. You need help. And we sought out all the help we could do. We went to every seminar we could. We learned all about the Parkinson's disease as much as we could. Important thing, go to every doctor's appointment with your spouse and go with a list of questions. Because if you don't do that, you don't know what's going on. Excellent. That's so important. Sure. And make sure your questions are answered no matter how long it takes.
One of the things that we've started here at Shell Point is our day respite program. And of course, from a caregiver standpoint, we're hoping that caregivers will see those services as being supplemental to the care that they provide and allow them some support. I think you shared with me before that in your journey, you finally reached out for a daycare type of program.
Yes, I sought those locally because we didn't have it at Shell Point at the time. Right. And made use of the facilities.
I saw another statistic that said that the caregivers who are 75 years or older are providing 35 hours of care for that person they're caring for. 35 hours a week. That's a full-time job.
Well.
And it's more like 24 probably, isn't it?
24 hours a day, I can tell you that.
Yeah, but they were saying 34 hours of direct involvement and care.
And it's all one-on-one.
Yes, absolutely.
And although you've lived together and probably have seen many, many anniversaries, you've never spent that much time together until you're a caregiver taking care of your loved one.
Yes, absolutely true.
And you need to get away. There needs to be a separation for both parties.
If you had to look back, knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself as you started the journey, maybe midway into the journey? Two different steps. When you first start, what would you tell yourself? And then halfway through?
Well, I think we did it right at the beginning.
Okay.
But as time progressed, your ego, I guess, takes over, and you think, hey, I can do this, and you can't do it. Right. I ended up in the hospital twice during this journey. Okay. And what good was that for Joanna when I'm in the hospital? Sure. The other thing is we all wait too long to make the decision to either move to assisted living if the person is qualified for that, or to move to the pavilion. Joanna moved directly into the pavilion, but I waited probably 6 to 12 months too long. Okay. It was becoming a terrible burden.
I know you have become a strong advocate for the caregiver, and you really reach out to people that you know are providing care and really try to talk to them about your journey, and you talk to them about our about our day respite program and the services that are available. So I really appreciate you doing that.
The new day respite program is a must. Great. They need to avail themselves of that, as well as all the other things that are available here, the exercise classes, the support groups. And we have a new support group for the caregivers, in addition to what Dr. Nancy Spencer is doing. Right. So, you know, we have here at Shell Point fantastic support.
Yes, we do.
But
you can't take care of others till you can take care of yourself.
But avail yourself of what's available.
Right, absolutely.
You know, and caregivers, I don't know what the current statistic is, but a good percentage of the caregivers pass away before the person they're taking care of. A good percentage. And I have several here at Shell Point that were personal friends that have left before the person they were taking care of, because they did not take care of themselves.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I trust that some of you all out there will understand what Ron's talking about. If it touches you personally, I hope you'll reach out to some of our support services that we've talked about and really utilize the day respite programs that are available here at Shell Point, as well as all the other healthcare services. So again, Ron, thanks so much, and thank you for watching. We'll talk to you again.
Well, you're very welcome, and I will say that anybody that wants to contact me, I'm in the phone book. So it's Ron Bach, B-A-C-H.
Great. Thanks,
I'll be
Ron.
happy to talk to anybody.
Great.
Thanks,
Ron.
Another great program is on the Health Connection schedule for you next week. Dr. John Pfeiffer will discuss modern advances in orthopedics, the medical specialty dealing with the musculoskeletal system. Here to talk more about Wednesday's program are Mary Franklin and Dr. Pfeiffer.
I'm Mary Franklin with an upcoming Health Connections program with one of the Shell Point favorites, Dr. Pfeiffer. He will be coming to give a talk on modern advances in orthopedics, and it will take place on Wednesday, November 12th at 1:15 p.m. in the Social Center. Dr. Pfeiffer, thank you for coming out once again to educate the Shell Point residents in your world of orthopedics. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure.
Well, here's my first question for you. It seems like one of the most difficult things with orthopedics is the diagnosis and where do you go? How do you know do you just get the shot? Do you just go to therapy? Do you go straight to surgery? How do you handle all of that?
Well, the first step is here at Shell Point. It's easy. You go visit your physicians and the medical team, and they'll get you started.
Right.
When that doesn't work, you're going to see an orthopedic surgeon if you hurt in your arms and your legs and your butt, and we're going to try to make a good diagnosis. Sometimes it's very easy. Sometimes you'll need shots. Sometimes you'll need special studies, but you have to have a good diagnosis.
Right. And you are great at that. You don't look at everybody the same, just a number coming in. You really look at each individual walking in as an individual and treat them different.
It's so hard when you hurt. Who do you see? And I tell our patients, come visit us. If it's a musculoskeletal problem, we'll figure it out. If it's not us, we'll get you to the right person. But it is hard, and it's very hard for every average person. But that's why I say always start with your medical team here at Shell Point, and then you work into our office. And we'll figure it out, and we'll get you to the neurologist, the neurosurgeon, the bowel doctor, the GI doctor, the dermatologist, and then we'll go from there.
Create a team for you.
Or your primary care doctor here will get you to the right team and the right specialists to figure it out.
Good. Now, how do you feel when someone walks into your office and they say, Doc, I was online last night.
I love it.
Do you? Why do you love it?
Well, it starts with vocabulary. And they've read something, and usually they'll come up with something I didn't even think of.
Right.
Because I always want to address their worries first. And everybody has a worry when they go on the internet.
Yes.
And I always do it before I take my car to the mechanic.
Right.
So I have an idea. Usually I'm wrong.
Right. But you at least can get your point across and know some of the language. And so, it's interesting, you feel that the internet is getting a little bit more accurate?
Oh, it's getting much better. Over the last 10 years, it has gotten so much better. People can get some really good information now. Wikipedia, I go to whenever I'm looking up something, and then I go from there.
Right. Oh, good.
But that's why they come see me.
Right.
Because I can fill in the gaps. I can tell them what's right, what's wrong about the internet, and then we make a good diagnosis, and then we work on how are we going to treat their orthopedic problem.
Right. Okay. What is your view when someone comes to you and say, I hurt so much I can't exercise, or they're giving up on the exercise or therapy? Do you think we should just stop when we have a pain?
Well, I'm going to go back to my dad's theory. As long as you're moving, they can't bury you.
Right.
So you have to keep moving. Secondly, you have to work through the pain. But before you can work through the pain, you need a good diagnosis.
Correct.
Assuming you're not going to damage anything. And that's where your therapy here at Shell Point is so important. Here's where your exercise room is so important. And here's where a good diagnosis is so important.
Right.
But you got to keep moving.
Yes. Yeah, so even if that knee is hurting and maybe you don't have an appointment for a couple of days, you can still work the upper body, keep moving or doing a little bit.
You have to.
Back off a little bit until you know that diagnosis.
Oh yeah, if you sit in a chair, we all know what happens. You get stuck.
Yeah.
You got to keep that body moving or you're in trouble.
Right. Well, Dr. Pfeiffer, you have so much energy, and it just energy and information, but it just comes right off the top of your head. And I know our residents will really appreciate your information. So get on the internet, figure out what your questions are, because you can ask them to Dr. Pfeiffer on Wednesday, November 12th at 1:15 in the Social Center. You will be impressed. You'll appreciate his knowledge and him sharing it with you. You can sign up at either of the service desks. I'm Mary Franklin with the Health Connections. Myself and Dr. Pfeiffer wish you a happy and healthy day.
The Spot Play Readers are back for their 10th season of performances starting this month. Melody Desolé recently spoke with some members of the group about their plans for the upcoming season.
Hi Shell Point, and welcome to the Village Church stage. I am joined by three very special ladies today. I have Kate Sullivan from Eagles Preserve, Ruth Duber from Periwinkle, and Ann Wharton from Cameo Court. And we are here today to talk about Shell Point's own theater, a production coming up right around the corner, and you are all invited. Now, I am joined by the co-producers of this wonderful production. Ruth, you have been doing Spot for Shell Point for many years.
Yes, I have.
We all know and love you. Can you tell me what number is this production?
This will be the 21st show.
That is phenomenal. And what is the show's name?
Well, it's called Don't Mention My Name, which is, you really have to see the show to know where that comes from. It's a play written by Fred Carmichael, and he is just a great playwright. Lots of humor in it, and that's what we want for Spot, is humor.
Humor, and what else is involved? Is there a little mystery and intrigue?
Yes. Much intrigue, and a surprise ending, which always makes it fun, so it's something to look forward to.
Now, Kate, you are co-producing this wonderful production. Can you tell us time, date, place, and how many characters are involved?
Oh, sure, absolutely. It's going to be on Thursday, November 13th, right here in the refreshed and renewed Village Church at 7:15. We have rather a large cast this time out. We have 8 characters, and nobody is who you think they are. They aren't even who they think they are. So there is quite a bit of intrigue, as Ruth referenced. And in fact, some of the props that we have here are very important to the play. Telephone rings periodically, and we also have our script book, of course, and there's a suitcase. Or is there more than one suitcase? You're going to have to come and find out. Now, the surprise ending is such a surprise. Even the actors don't know what it is yet. We don't want anybody on Shell Point property knowing it until that night.
Kate, that sounds so wonderful and so intriguing that you don't want to miss this production, that's for sure. So in order to prepare for this production, we're going to turn it over to Ann, who's going to explain how the play readers get together and how they come up with these productions.
Well, Ruth usually picks productions that we've had in play readers, and then we do that in Spot. And I many times am asked by people, you carry the script. Why in the world do you have rehearsal? We have to have rehearsal because we have so many props, and and we also don't want to run into each other. We don't want to fall off the stage, and it's just. You really have to do a lot of practicing to understand when you come in, when you don't come in. And there's so many of us, too, on stage. It's so much fun.
So, of course, rehearsal will help you with voice inflection, knowing when to deliver the lines, humor, things of that nature.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah.
So as Ann had mentioned, those rehearsals actually do count as volunteer hours. So this is so important to the overall Shell Point volunteer picture. So if you are a part of Spot or Play Readers, please mark down those hours. And if you are friends and family or guests of the Play Readers, please come out to the Spot production. Don't Mention My Name. It's happening right here in the Village Church, Thursday, November 13th at 7:15 p.m. We'll see you out there.
Even though Shell Point is a retirement community, the residents here are always on the go. And sometimes it's hard to make a healthy and tasty meal while being so active. That's why Linda Rakos and Master Chef Brett Waite are presenting a Health Connections class, Quick and Healthy Cooking Tips. Here with more now is Mary Franklin.
I'm Mary Franklin here today with Linda Rakos and Chef Brett, both from the Crystal, and Linda with her nutritional assessment combined have 31 years of experience here at Shell Point, and they're going to be talking to you on Thursday, November 13th at 9:45 in the Social Center on quick and healthy cooking tips. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Chef, you had a successful program, the Master Chef program in the Health Connection not too long ago, and that spun into this program, correct?
It is. This is part 2.
Okay. And the timing of part 2 is perfect because it's right before the holiday season. What advice are you going to give them if they're hosting an event or they're running around and they need to get some healthy things into their diet?
Well, I mean, in between, obviously we provide meals at the Crystal, but you need to be able to fill in the gaps, and obviously snacks on the go, breakfast in the morning, things that we can incorporate between smoothies, which are a popular trend, healthy grains, which we've covered in our recent series, and simply utilizing things that are in your cabinets and your refrigerator. That's really kind of the basis of what we're trying to do, is show the simplicity of what we already have existing in our cabinets and fridges, and use them.
Right. And Linda, your job is to make sure they're nutritionally balanced, and then Chef has to make them taste good, right?
That is true. That is true. But I like them to taste good too.
Yes. But you know those tricks of like adding a grain or adding something to a smoothie and making that connection to make it a little, to bring up the notch of nutrition. And is that what you like to bring to the table?
Oh, absolutely. Right. We want to make sure that we remind everybody that they get their 5 vegetables a day, and Brett's going to show them and actually give them a taste of whipping up a little smoothie with some green food in it. Oh my goodness, and some other really nutritious stuff. So
Well, always looking forward to that. And Chef, you do a great job also of not making this something that that's real expensive, or that you have to drive all the way across town to get an ingredient. You use the basics, correct?
Yeah, that's the idea, is keep it simple, use what you have. And I've tried to drive that in the last series, was not to feel so obligated to recipes, and to try and grow your sense of palate and flavor. So if you have stuff and you just try and associate things that might taste good that you have on hand. And if you're out shopping, pick up vegetables or fruits that are ripe if you can get a good deal on them, and you find ways to incorporate that into the food that you are making.
Well, thank you for sharing this information with all the residents. It's perfect timing. Looking forward to all these wonderful new recipes you can put into your recipe box. Again, it takes place on Thursday, November 13th at 9:45 a.m. in the Social Center. There will be special treats there for you to try all of these goodness. And last time there was a big wait list, so sign up now for this at either service desk. I'm Mary Franklin with 2 wonderful people that make our lives just tasteful. Have a great day.
Shell Point residents Tim and Joe Klenk of Royal Bonnet have both been privy to the wonders of flying airplanes. The aviation buffs recently sat down with us to talk about their many adventures in the skies.
I had a stroke about 3 years ago, and my muscles around my mouth don't work well. But I sometimes tell my friends, I can't hear, I can't talk. Other than that, I'm a very good communicator. I was 14 years old, and my mother arranged for us all to go flying for her birthday. And I went up with this guy, a friend of mine, and it was just fantastic. I really enjoyed flying, enjoyed seeing things around. I thought it was really fun. So I said, as soon as I am old enough, I'm going to get a pilot license. So what I did, I worked in the grocery store for 85 cents an hour. And I used to save it all to go flying on the weekend. And it cost me $10 an hour for the J3 Cub I flew, and $3 an hour for the instructor. So it was $13 an hour for dual. And I went ahead and got my license. And there is an awful lot of things that happened between then and the time I met Joe, but we were married. And you tell her it happened, Joe, that you got to fly.
I was interested in flying for a long time. When I was in high school, the space program was just getting started, and that was very interesting to me. And I had an uncle who was taking flying lessons, and I really enjoyed going up with him occasionally. So I would babysit for his children, and then he would take me up flying. And I always loved just being in the airplane, and I always thought it would be fun to be the pilot, but I really couldn't afford the lessons at that point in time. So I flew with him, and I flew with another friend when I was in high school, and just always thought someday I'd like to be a pilot. I was able to get my license about 8 years after we got married, and the way that happened was for a birthday present. Tim gave me $20 and said I could go get my FAA medical. So that was an exciting day. I was able to go get my medical, and then I could work on my private pilot's license.
After I learned to fly, I bought a Taylor-Craft airplane for $1,300. I had an awful lot of fun times with that airplane.
But Wheaton College had a rule that freshmen could not have cars. So Tim didn't have a car, but there was no rule against having airplanes. So he flew back and forth to Wheaton College in the airplane. It's expensive to fly, and I really wanted to be able to get my instrument rating and my commercial license, but I really couldn't afford to take all those instructor hours to fly, and so I found out about a company called Aviation Activities, which was a distributor of Cessna, and they needed pilots to ferry aircraft from the factory in Wichita, Kansas, back to Illinois, and then to distribute them throughout the Midwest. So I began flying for Aviation Activities, and the way we worked it was a number of us would go down to Wichita, usually in a 6-seater airplane, like a Cessna 206, and we would fly down to Wichita to the factory, usually Strother Airport or Pawnee Airport, and then we would each pick up a new aircraft and fly it back to Illinois. And it was a lot of fun. So I really was able to fly a lot and had a lot of fun flying all the different single-engine Cessnas. Everything from a 150, 152, 172, 182, on up to the Cessna 206 and 210, the Centurion. So I got a chance to fly all those planes. During that time, I was able to get my instrument rating, which allows you to fly in less than perfect weather conditions, for example, in the clouds. Then, so that was about a year after I got my private license, I got my instrument rating, and then after more training, about a year later, I got my commercial license as well. But Tim and I continued to fly, and we flew a lot for a number of years. We've been to a lot of different little airports and larger airports. I think one of my most interesting experiences was flying into O'Hare by myself. I was taking a Cessna 172, and that was really interesting because it's such a large airport, and most of the planes that land there are, of course, large jets. So the air traffic controller kept telling me, keep your speed up, keep your speed up. And of course I was trying to slow down to prepare to land, so I ended up landing at a much hotter airspeed than I would normally land at.
Joe is a very good pilot.
Yeah.
I have the same ratings and all that she has, but she's a better pilot.
Of course, he's my husband. No, usually the way we would work it when we would fly together is one of us would fly one way and the other of us would fly back, or we would, fly and refuel, and then the other one would fly. So we took turns, and we were able to go on vacations or to visit family that way. And often we would go to Christian Legal Society conferences that were in different parts of the country. So we, for example, we went to out east to Martha's Vineyard, and we went out west to Colorado Springs, and then we
Florida one time.
Florida, and just a variety of different places that gave us an excuse to fly. Since we rented rather than owning our own aircraft, we flew kind of a variety of airplanes.
All kinds of stuff.
Cessnas, Pipers,
Pipers.
Moonies, quite a variety.
After my stroke, I wanted to see if I could still do it. So I went out to the airport and hired an instructor. I got him to go up with me. I told him I wanted to do 5 takeoffs and 5 landings. It's always good to do the same number of landings.
As you do takeoffs.
So he took me up, and I did 5 takeoffs and 5 landings. And he said, "Oh, very good, Craig." I think maybe he's lying a little bit, but I made
Tim was able to do the landings fine, so that was good.
We had talked about whether we wanted to fly a sports airplane. I think it would be nice. It would be fun, but neither of us feel the need to fly.
I think we have a lot of great memories, and we both really enjoy getting in an airplane and flying, just like maybe you might enjoy getting on a bicycle and going for a bike ride again. But to fly well, you need to fly a lot. And for us to be good pilots again, I think we would need to really fly a lot, and I'm not sure we would want to invest the time and the money that it would be required to be really good pilots again. When I flew for Cessna, I was flying almost every day, and as I said, in a variety of different aircraft, so I felt like I really was a good pilot at that point in time. But I think we're just as happy at this point to enjoy Shell Point and enjoy new opportunities and new avenues of ministry and outreach and other activities, and not invest the time that would be required to fly again, although we'd love to go out with an instructor and fly occasionally. So we've had a lot of interesting experiences.
Yeah.
Well, that about does it for this week, but before we go, I want to just let everyone know that this Friday, November 7th, is my last day here at Shell Point, and I want to really sincerely thank you for letting me be a part of your lives and share your stories here at Shell Point.
We interrupt this program because we just can't let Rochelle go without taking a look back at her time with us. Now, in 7 years, there have been too many memorable moments to even remember, but we hope you will enjoy these few.
In 3, 2.
Hello, everyone. This is my show. I'm Rochelle Cherniawski. This is about me, not you. Okay. Ready? You potentially have negative health consequences. Hurricanes are a force to be reckoned with. Reckoned?
They are a force to be reckoned with.
Wah, wah. You get serious. Hurricanes are a force to be reckoned with. Reckoned.
You're wrecking our show, Rochelle.
Reckoned. The Shell Point dining venues are always ready to cook up blah. I really am professional sometimes.
Yes.
Are you a rabbit?
Hello, I'm Rochelle Cherniawski. Hold on, I had hair in my mouth. My bad. We're good.
Sure that's not part of the script.
There's hair in my mouth. Disgusting. Okay.
Hi everybody, I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point today.
Sorry. Is that a donut?
Bloopers are going to strike.
On Tuesday, we're inviting all dog owners to the Friendly Dog Park for an event we're calling Yappy Hour. Never been to the dog park? Here's a taste of what you'll see.
Oh, that was
And now it's time to take a look at the new exhibit taking, Rochelle Cherniawski of SPEN on the scene of the official SPPPPPP, which is of course the Shell Point Pike Fillgreen Professional Ping Pong Party. Good thing I didn't finish my square dance routine.
Edison and Ford, winter estates in downtown Fort Myers.
Did I look confused when I said mustard sauce? Mustard sauce?
Mustard sauce. Never heard of it.
Mustard sauce? What's that? It sounds yellow.
Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet.
My turn. I am talking now.
I feel small and insignificant and weak.
Is that a donut?
A Detroit joke.
Okay. For its intelligent environment.
Pickleball! Okay, wait.
One more time.
Okay.
La 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 lo. I'm sorry.
You may have heard this date in the news, February 17th.
What? I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
can't
you're just
believe I
off in
just
your
did
own
that.
world.
I just went like this, like I don't do my hair. What? Huh?
We hope you've enjoyed today's show.
We sure do. I was really passionate about wishing people a great day on that one. I gave them the fist bump. Have a great day. Make the most of it. Hit a buffet. Have some ice cream. I'm out. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace. Is that a donut?